use your flashy sword? Are these what you were looking for, Jedi?
I am more powerful than any Jedi. Know that you are dealing with a Sith Lord.
You're still outnumbered.
Rarely do you find a character you're just infatuated with almost immediately, and because of their limited appearances, you want nothing more but to see more of them.
Is there a butts here? See more butts?
And, for me, possibly a spin-off one day? I will admit I'm speaking from a degree of bias in this instance, as I've grown to have a deeper appreciation for this character as the years have gone by, as I can understand what it is that people love about him. If you're unaware of who I'm referring to, I'm of course talking about Star Wars' answer to Jack Sparrow in a story set in the stars as opposed to on the seas. And he is, of course, Hondo Ohnaka. Quite possibly one of the few characters with a solid identity to him and a charming personality brought to us by one Winnie the Pooh, and an insatiable appetite for fortune that almost puts Jack Sparrow to shame in the lengths that he'll go through to get it at times.
Money!
Before I dive further into why this is another win for the Clone Wars' first attempt at success, let me explain what happens. We open on Anakin imprisoned in Dooku's ship as Obi-Wan ventures through space to retrieve him. Once he's found, they head directly to Dooku's quarters and proceed to chase him into the bowels of the ship, where they are briefly separated in their pursuit. Dooku escapes and they manage to follow him in a ship of their own once Obi-Wan arrives in the hangar and Anakin drops down not far behind him. All three crash land on a desolate world where Dooku evades them and leads them to a cave where he traps them both inside by doing some interior redecorating. As Dooku makes it back to his downed ship, he runs into the pirate gang where they are run under the authority of one Hondo Ohnaka. After being quizzed about why he's so far out, Dooku negotiates a way off-world by Hondo taking him to his world of operations, Florum. Meanwhile, Anakin and Obi-Wan deal with a raging gundark and vast quantities of poison gas steadily filling the caves from a broken part of the ground, when Ahsoka comes to their aid with a small squad and they jettison back off-world. After this, Dooku arrives on Florum and is held hostage with Hondo intending to fetch a hefty score for the head of the Separatist leadership, and seeks to sell him off to the highest bidder once discovering that he is a laser sword-wielding maniac. It's here where Hondo contacts the Republic Senate to negotiate a trade where Big Papa Popes grows frustrated and those around him press for his capture to hopefully bring about an end to the war. It's here where Palpatine agrees to send Senator Karras and Jar Jar Binks to deliver the fortune that Hondo wants. I think we can all see the reason as to why they're going. Anyway, Obi-Wan and Anakin are sent to confirm Dooku's capture, and once they've seen him, Dooku warns them about getting involved with the pirates, and they dismiss him outright but will soon regret that decision, and join the pirates for a drink under the guise of a toast to new allies.
You fucking idiot!
Straight out of the gate, Hondo is easily one of the best characters to come out of the Clone Wars. His aloof, sarcastic, narcissistic and altruistic nature, coupled with the charm of a lightning bolt that strikes you so hard you're almost lucky to have felt it, makes for such a unique character. He's not concerned with the growing tensions of the war and what's going on outside of his own bubble until it comes a detriment or benefit to him. He possesses no allegiance, yet understands the benefit of generating connections with the likes of Kenobi and Skywalker, which will come back around to save him a few times later. And he goes on to have quite the journey in Rebels many years after this. He doesn't wish to involve himself in the war, he's just guided by his own self-interests, and that's simply to make money.
Money!
We'll see throughout the series and throughout Star Wars Rebels that he'll exploit any opportunity he can get for that, and it's always detestable, but you can't help but love the guy. He's engaging and charming in a devilish way and feels like a breath of fresh air in a galaxy full of creatively spent antagonists that either embody the same ethos that you struggle to separate them beyond their looks, or that they are one-dimensional designs that are there for a simple one-time kill. Hondo as a character I feel is so beloved because of how sparingly he's used, but I'd love to see more from him. and I personally feel he'd be a perfect fit for a show like The Bad Batch at some point. He's portrayed as irredeemable and idiotic, but he knows how to play the field, especially catching Palps by surprise, managing to catch his right-hand man with relative ease and simply demanding some spice for it. Filoni and co struck gold when they created him, and to choose Jim Cummings for the role just added that sparkle to the star that is Hondo. Anyway, that's enough gushing over that. As for the additions of everyone else in this episode, it follows as such for me. Anakin and Obi-Wan's relationship truly got to shine in this episode, and I feel was the truest example of that brotherhood they supposedly had from just watching the movies that I personally never felt. The banter, general concern, and jabs at each other felt more natural from two animated characters than the real-life performances. I love Ewan and have a greater appreciation for Hayden now, but Matt and James were perfect in their delivery in this, and the playful moments like these feel far more organic for me, as you feel the connection unlike the betrayals and scripting in the movies. I'm sorry to say, but that is honestly how I feel.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
As for Dooku, we rarely get to see him, though he's getting a lot of love recently with appearances in Tales of the Jedi and mentions in the first 3 episodes of the Bad Batch's latest season. The appearances we do get from him feel strategic and purposeful, like the tactician that he is. Nothing is ever an accident when it comes to his character, and his use here isn't simply to just unite Obi-Wan and Anakin, but is a means to remind the audience of a greater importance he plays in the war right now and how pissed Palps became knowing this had occurred. If he was captured, Dooku is the biggest giveaway right now to Palpatine's plans, so the last card that Palps had with his back against the wall was Jar Jar. He always sends Jar Jar around when he wants something fucked up. Really good subtle character work with Palpatine as well in this. All in all, this was a fantastic episode, and I understand it won't be for everyone, and that's okay, but I will always recommend this one as a great balance of banter, adventure, and humour. That's all I got to say on this for now. I appreciate you watching. If you like this, slap that like button and kick the subscribe in the face for more content down the road, and until then, pour yourself some spatchka, kick your feet up, check out my other works, and I'll see you soon. May the Force be with you all.